Before the desert swallowed the island of Sale, before the story was carved into stone, Egypt faced one of the darkest moments in its early history. The Nile had failed. Not once, not twice, but 7 years in a row. The river that brought life to the land shrank into thin, muddy streams. Farmers stared at cracked earth where wheat should have been. Granaries emptied. Families rationed bread. Even the temples grew quiet. In the palace of Pharaoh Djoser, tension hung in the air like heat before a storm. Advisors argued, priests searched for omens, and no one knew how to stop the famine. Except, perhaps, the scribes. One morning, Imhotep, Djoser's brilliant vizier and chief scribe, entered the throne room with a bundle of old papyrus scrolls. Dust fell from them like powder from forgotten memories. "Your Majesty," he said, "our answer may lie in what our ancestors already knew." He and a team of scribes retreated deep into the palace archives, where papyri sat rolled in baskets, some so fragile they crumbled at the edges. Hours became days. Days became weeks. Ink stained their fingers. Oil lamps burned low. Then finally, a discovery. A record older than the kingdom itself. A text describing the source of the Nile's floodwaters. And a sanctuary dedicated to Kun, the deity Egyptians believed shaped life and controlled the river's flow. The scribe team hurried to Djoser with their findings. Not magic. Not miracles. Knowledge. Djoser acted quickly. Expeditions were sent south to restore the neglected sanctuary, repair canals, and reorganize water rights. Granaries were rebuilt. Surveyors mapped the river. Measures were taken to stabilize Egypt's resources. Slowly, the Nile rose again. Fields drank water for the first time in years. Wheat sprouted. Markets filled. Villages returned to life. What could have become the collapse of the old kingdom turned into a triumph of organization, record keeping, and the long memory of scribes. Centuries later, the story was carved into granite, what we now call the Famine Stele, so future generations would remember. When the river failed, it was not strength or weapons that saved Egypt. It was knowledge. The scribes, with their scrolls and ink-stained hands, preserved the wisdom of the past. And in doing so, saved the future.